assignment purpose, we are required to collect information about the main issue that currently arises in a company. So, to identify the main issue, we chose CLPG packaging industry Sdn Bhd. CLPG Packaging Sdn Bhd incorporated on 20 December 2002 as a manufacturer and exporter of plastic corrugated sheets, boxes and partitions. CLPG packaging industries specialize in labeling products such as all-purpose labels and stickers, computer labels, destructive, barcode labels, static PVC protective film, offset and silk screen stickers, and also conductive. To get to know more information regarding the company and also for the report purpose, we have conducted online interview with Mr. Tan, who is the Deputy General Manager of the company. From the interview response, we get to know that there are two ways of CLPG stand for. One is formal, another one is informal. Informal way, C stand for creative, L stand for leadership, and PG stand for pinning. However, in informal way, the CLPG consists of owner's name where C stands for Chun, L stands for Lin, who is the owner's wife, and PG stands for Pinning as well. Besides, there are totally 7 departments in the company such as marketing, sales, finance, accounting, human resources, operation and also stock. We also get to know that there are totally 97 workers are working at the moment with the age range of 20 to 60. For the company development in terms of the product, the company newly added a product which called a forming product. In the other end, in terms of marketing, the company exploring the international market. CLPG has been exporting their products since 2010. They already exported their products in 19 of the countries around the world, and the Oman country is the reason why. Moreover, CLPG have special training for the employees to increase their skill and also their performance. Since 2015, the company engaged a trainer from Japan, who is a Japanese consultant, to conduct a program called Team Management.
Good day, Doctor. My name is Clpg Ramesh, no metric 273254. Today, I will be presenting the main issue of the company. Based on the data that we got through from our interview by Mr. Tan, the General Manager of CLPG Packaging Industries, we got to know that there are two issues that are currently going on in his company. This issue can be divided into two categories, which are internal and external. As for the first issue that occur internally, is the lack of foreign workers in the organization, and for the second issue that occur externally is the rising value of cost of raw materials and cost of operations. Based on our findings, we would like to address the second issue, the rising value of cost of raw materials and cost of operation, as the main issue of the company. According to Mr. Tan, one of the reasons that this issue arises in his company is because of our current situation in Malaysia, which is the pandemic. How does this issue can affect a business? Based on my research, the instability and the value changes of raw materials can have a falling impact across the production network. Not only that, acquire raw materials at a good price makes the difference between having a profitable year or having an unprofitable year. As per this organization, Mr. Tan has expressed that the cost of raw materials and activities are ascending roughly in a scope of 65% to 80%. However, no matter how high the rising value might be, yet the company still needs to purchase them as raw materials are the main components in running a business, especially in the manufacturer company. As we all know, without raw materials, this company is unable to supply the goods for sale. Thank you, Doctor. That's all from me.
So next, I will talk about the factors of the issue that faced by Clpg company, where the main issues that they are having is the rising of the price for raw materials. Okay, first of all, as we know, the main factors for rising of raw materials is actually by the material itself. As we know, there are some materials that is really hard to find. It required a lot of time in order to find it. So therefore, in order for the company to buy and distribute it to all the retailer, so the supplier needs to increase the amount of price in order for them to get back the profit as they invest too much on it. For CLPG industry, they need to have the raw material for them in order for this company to produce their product, such as plastic container, foams, and many more. But as we know, it is hard to get the raw material, so the supplier have no choice. This is because they want to consider the demand for the material which remains, but the sources for the material is kept reducing. Furthermore, labor is also one of the factors that cause the rising of the raw material for this company. So as we know that they have any shift in labor, whether decrease or increase of the labor, so the price of raw material also have shift anyway. For example, if the labor union they stop and they did not want to work anymore, so the price of material will go down as there is less labor that will work to get the material, which will cause the less production for the company. However, if the labor get into deals or any agreement with the company which include benefits, increase in payment, bonus or many more, therefore the price of raw material will get high. Again, so that the company of the or the supplier will have many more money to pay for their labor. Not only that, as we know, transportation is a must for each of the company. So for CLPG packaging industry, transportation is also major factors of the issue of rising of price of raw material. So sometimes they get not from their own state, but maybe from other region. As we know, due to pandemic COVID-19 nowadays, it is hard for our country or others country to import or export the raw materials to other company. Since we know there are many procedures that needed in order to export or import the raw materials from others country. Due to it, they have a problem in order to make sure the production runs smoothly. Last but not least, for the rising of the raw material, maybe because of the climate change. So we can include the natural disasters such as flood, snow, weather, volcanic eruptions, and many more have affected the transportation, or even the level is hard to find for the raw materials itself. So natural disaster is something that we cannot expect it to be happen. So therefore, there is nothing much precaution that we should take in order to avoid it to happen. However, if this happen for a last period of time, so the company might have to shut down their operation because of the loss from the operation, and maybe they did not have any ability to pay for their debts and also for their expenses.
I will continue for the consequences part. Okay, first, my name is Nur Syafiqah Sunam binti Syamsul Amri, and number 3, 273692. Okay, I will continue now. As the issue of our company is rising in raw material pricing, so that this rising in raw material will give a great implication for the company itself. Okay, now I will explain how the rising price in raw material can give a great implication for the CLPG industry. This is because they will have problem to fulfill their customers' demand because the supply chain keep on decreasing, which is as the company face a rising price in the raw material, so the company will have a high cost of production for their product itself, because they might need to top up for the loss, or they will want to make profit, isn't it? So that they might need to increase their price so that it will cover all the expenses and they also can get profit. So by increasing the price of the product, of course, customer will not buy from them, because yeah, customer will buy at a lower cost of the same product, as the customer will want to have a lower cost but the same product, so the customer might shift their demand for the other competitors, so that the company will might not have customer, or might have a lower sales, so it will make trouble for them to make profit. And if they cannot make sales for in order to cover the expenses, so the company might face a loss in their operation later. That is the first point of the consequences. Okay, we go into the second point of consequences, is which is the company might also have to have high possibility to shut down the operation and transportation, because as rising in raw material pricing can cause a natural phenomenon, which is a natural disaster such as floods, hurricane, snows, earthquake, volcanic eruption, and others. So by this natural disaster, it will force them they might cannot retrieve their business, because this will make the company have a high loss in their operation. So and also the company also cannot be able to obtain the raw material itself, because it might hard to find. And also if they have if suppliers have the raw material, but they might spend a lot to transport the raw material, as they have trouble for some things like that, so they might need cost to get the raw material itself, as they might spend a lot of cost for the raw material, so it will be included in the expenses, and it will make them to have a high expenses, and might be a high possibility for them to lose in the operation for a long time. Okay, we continue for the third consequences, which is which is the factor of the shortage of labor. In Because of we have the shortage of labor, and the employee will work lazily, and they think that they think that they are not getting any benefits from the company, such as pay raise or any bonus from the company. So they will might make a mistake or careless in handling their product, so that it will eventually make the quality of the product drop. And if the quality of the product drop, so no customer that will buy for them, because the customer think that other competitors they have more good product than Clpg industries. So that is the consequences of having consequences of rising the raw material. Next, we continue for the last consequences for this raw material. And for these last consequences, the company will face a profit declining, which I already include in all those 3 points just now. And the profit decline is occur because the company will increase the cost price. We have the increasing in cost price, as the expenses from the transportation, and the expenses from the climate change, and the expenses for getting a new employee or labor to work for them. So this might they might have trouble for the company to get a profit, because they will have problem to make sales. That is for one thing. They might have trouble to make sales, but they also have trouble because their expenses keep on rising as the production, as the quality product drop, as the transportation from outside of the country. We might need a foreign exchange, and it will cost too much. And also we will have taxation, so that will make the profit of the company keep on declining. And if the company did not overcome the problem, and the profit keep on declining, so that is the reason that they might need to shut down the company. Okay,
Thank you. So hi, my name is Nofatiha binti Abdul Qadir and my metric number is 273652. So today I will present about my part, which is recommendation for CLPG company. Based on the issues that stated by the general manager of the company, which is CLPG company, we found that some solutions that have been taken by the company to overcome their own problems due to the pandemic COVID-19. As we know, the pandemic gave a huge impact to all industry companies, especially for manufacturing factory. First of all, they usually have a discussion among them at the same time, get some consultation from the expert one to overcome their own problems. They also always discuss together to find a suitable solutions to a problem that they are facing. This is because through this discussion like this, they can come up with a thoughtful ideas to solve their problems. Apart from that, the company can reduce the cost of materials and use fewer materials to overcome rising value for cost of raw materials. Materials are another important part of the production cost involved in manufacturing. However, the cost of spending on raw material has also increased now due to certain factors. Therefore, the company need to find ways to reduce the cost of spending on raw materials. For starters, they can find ways to buy raw materials at lower prices. For example, material can be purchased in large quantities to get a discount on bulks purchase prices of the suppliers. Next, negotiate with several suppliers and compare with each other as in the procurement process to ensure prices are available with the most competitive on materials. Another way to reduce material costs is to use fewer ingredients in the product. If the company can reduce the amount of material that enters the unit without significantly affecting the quality of the product, then the cost of materials will be able to be reduced. In addition, materials that do not contribute directly to the product, such as packaging and documentation, can also be reduced to save the cost. Last but not least, the company should increase the efficiency of workers to overcome labor issues. It can be started by adding skilled manpower to do a task because they are more efficient. Also, implement training program for existing staff so that they can master new skills and become more efficient in what they do. The aim is to reduce the number of steps a product must go through before it is finished. In addition, incentive programs such as rewards in the form of the bonuses should be held to encourage employees to work more harder and more efficiently. This is because it can increase the efficiency of the production process. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So, to summarize the report, we can see that the main issue faced by CLPG is the rising value cost of raw materials and also cost of operation due to the COVID pandemic. Although CLPG might face some issues, yet they never fail to identify the factors and also able to overcome the consequences by the right solutions. If we look further into organizational ethics, they are very important for an organization which is facing issues. Organizational ethics should be based on values, beliefs, and also moral rules. By meeting these standards, it promotes the CLPG company to close hand into whom they employ and also whom they service. Besides, by having organizational ethics, the company is seen respected in the public eye. If the company has none of the above, it can lead to not supportive business in which can collapse to a business who has these ethics. So we can conclude that it is very important for a company to adapt organizational ethics to overcome the issues. So that's all from me.